That's why I'm Katie blowing high like Arizona, blowing them 3-5s. I'm missing all my amigos on this Cinco.
Yo, what's going on, my YouTube garden gang? We back for another installment in Rello Mellow Garden. Down here a little early today. Got a couple things to talk about today. I don't think I've really been down here much, or I have been down here much, but as far as recording our little Verona dresser here, I don't think that we have done very much. This week, yeah. So they'll now be on day 44 of veg. We haven't really been down here much at all messing with them or recording them at least. And we're also, of course, on day 44 of flower for the girls in there. All right, now I've got some cow mag in here. This is the second one of these little droppers filled up to about this amount that I'm about to give it. I don't know why. I can usually not get this to fill all the way up, so it kind of goes halfway and I do it twice. And I've been lacking on doing the cow mag. I probably need to go into like my calendar app and set it up to where I got it, whatever, to where I'll remember to come in and do this. But I think we might be seeing some issues related to a magnesium deficiency throughout both of our tents now. So I'll go ahead and drop that in there. A little bit of that. Let these pH pins get a stable reading. Come through and stir it. Of course, we've already pH down the water. I don't think the cow mag affects pH. If it does, it must not be very much, maybe. Good old stir in there. And yeah, we'll let these get a stable reading. So once they stop moving around, we'll come and use that water. Get the caps back on these. Now, this video is about the dresser grow, but we'll quickly step over here. I'm not the most happy with what we've managed to do in the 2x4 so far. It's day 44 of flower. All these buds should probably be a bit bigger. Like I said, we have grown one of these ice cold crossed with Oreos bag seeds. We did it just our last run in this tent. And there they are. 44 days of veg. Not looking too bad, but we come over here to our scunch by Dirty Bird Genetics, and we can see kind of some tacoing of the leaves, kind of how they're folding up, and we can see this yellowing coming on them. And it seems like it's starting from the top, which I think usually this type of stuff is supposed to start at the bottom, but they look fairly normal on the lower end. But there is weird stuff popping up here at the top of the plants. So, from what I can tell now, this might be a magnesium related thing. I would be surprised if this single little 100-watt light is burning this girl. She is a bit closer than the terpgasm on the right there. I'm about to measure to see just how far we are from the light. It's still got like 9 inches, which I suppose 9 inches is actually a little closer than recommended during veg. supposed to be closer to 16 to 18 inches, but boy, this is just a single 100-watt light. This one looks to be around 13 inches from the light. And there's a little bit going on, maybe on some of the tips of these leaves. But yeah, I don't know exactly how to diagnose this. Again, I ain't no plant expert. This is only my 5th run around, like 5th grow now in this 2x4 tent, which is the only tent I got. First time running in this little space, just converted it. So I still got a lot of learning to do, especially when it comes to diagnosing problems. Now, if stuff runs smoothly, then I'm fairly good with this. Germinating seeds, training, all that stuff I feel fairly competent with. I guess it's just more so the chemistry side, right? Potential deficiencies, lighting type stuff, nutrients that we still are looking to gain more and more competence in. Obviously, I'm sure with the training and whatnot, can still got stuff I can learn and all that. But y'all see how these look. This is just 1 week now, or about a week, in these 3-gallon pots. Before that, they were in 2-quart pots. So really, they were probably in those 2-quart pots a little too long, but it is what it is. Probably about to start redoing our actual training on these plants. Instead of just me bending them over, I'm gonna get the tie downs and staples and whatnot. I already showed y'all how I go about doing that. Maybe I'll get it on camera. I don't know that. Again, I got down here fairly early today, and honestly, I just don't know that I feel like tying these down at this exact moment, but I am gonna come down here later today and get it done. Terpgasm looking pretty good. Again, I really hope this light isn't causing problems. I guess we can just turn it down. It is at 100%, but it's been at 100% this entire grow. Of course, as they've grown, they've got closer to the light, but you'd think they'd get a little more resilient. You know, the younger they are, the more easy it is to burn them. So for now, I'm going to assume the light is not the problem, and it's some type of deficiency, primarily affecting over here. And I'm gonna call this pH done, about a 6.3. It's fairly good. Give this one more quick stir around. I don't do much foliar feeding. I occasionally do a foliar spray like we were doing earlier on in that dresser, just to keep the humidity up in there. But I heard a foliar feeding of cow mac can be good to quickly address the potential magnesium feeding. So we filled some up in this little spray bottle here. And I guess that's where we'll start. Now, I don't want to overdo it, but I hear it's pretty hard to overdo cow mac. So I think I'm still going to try to water these plants. We gave them a pretty thorough watering yesterday. I'm gonna have to think about it. Yeah, that's our little foliar spray on them to see if we can get that magnesium problem, potential magnesium problem, quickly addressed. They should be able to uptake it through the leaves, which I guess is a little quicker than going through the roots. So yeah, we'll see if that leads to some clearing up of some of the yellowing we've seen. I think it was more evident over here. And hopefully we don't see too much pop up over here with the terpgasm. She's still recovering from our topping we gave her. Hopefully we start getting a little bit more vertical growth out of these lower branches here. That's part of the reason we went ahead and topped her, to help these to hurry up and catch up to the top there. Part of the reason the terpgasm is a lot shorter than the scunch is because we initially only topped the scunch, whereas the terpgasm, it started out with LST, which included coming in and bending over its main stalk, so it pretty much halved its height for a while. Now it's kind of standing back up straight, but this one never had its main stalk bent, so it's been able to kind of vertically grow this whole time. Just a little comparison thing I did, mainly for the audience, to show y'all the differences and how the two types of training look. But I've decided I'm not going to stick with the LST on this one, because we didn't LST this one to start. Though I think with my small tent heights, LSTing from the start might be the better option for me versus topping them and letting them kind of grow up a bit like this one did, then starting to LST. This one got pretty tall. And despite the fact that we are currently dealing with the same issue here, I do worry this scunch might get a bit tall during flower, but oh well. I just need a taller tent at this point. Hopefully we'll have one coming soon. I think this over here is like 5 foot tall. This is probably like 3 or 4 feet tall. I need a good 6 foot tent. We won't have to worry about these height restrictions as much. They are kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, hopefully that foliar feeding does something for them. This soil is still fairly moist. The roots have nicely filled out these pots. You can see that over there, looking like lion's teeth. I don't know if I would say filled out, but they've definitely made their way throughout the pot. So they can probably take a full watering today. I haven't really been watering them every day just yet, unless I notice the soil is really run dry. I'm gonna get this fan on them for sure. Try to dry that soil out a bit. And maybe I'll come back, yeah, when I come back to start tying these down, which y'all can see all the nice little branching starting up on this scunch here. But when I come back to tie down the scunch, I guess I'll look at the soil. Y'all can see it's still real moist. Like I said, it got a thorough watering yesterday. But yeah, I'm gonna look at the soil, see what I think, because I do want to get a nice watering to run off so I can check the pH of these just to make sure everything is okay. And yeah, that'll be that. If I don't make it back to record, at least I'm still gonna do the work. But if we don't record it, then this is our day 44 veg update. Scunch, terpgasm. Should be a beautiful run. Even if I do let the scunch get a little too tall, it's not gonna kill it. I just gotta stay on top of some things now that I'm dealing with bigger plants and whatnot. Yo, and we back here. Now making 45 days of veg for our girls in our little tent space. We've got some training stakes or garden stakes, some garden wire, a little bit of string, because I think, like I said yesterday, I was going to try to get back down here to tie down our scunch, but it didn't end up happening that way. And we did not water them again yesterday. However, they have now been transplanted into those 3-gallon pots for about a week. We're about to hit them with some more, or the water with some of this more bloom to get the pH down. All right, this water should be pH to around a 6.3. We're gonna come back and use it in just a second. I think what I'm going to start with is the training though. And we will be watering to runoff because we want to see what the pH of our medium is, just to make sure everything is going all right down in here. With this scunch plant here, we started to see some yellowing and tacoing of leaves. It looks like it might be getting slightly better already. This one is still pretty tacoed up. And it's starting on these top leaves up here. It's not really in the lower canopy, which usually a nitrogen or magnesium deficiency starts at the bottom of the plant and works its way up. But my idea was that it's either magnesium, although again that usually starts at the bottom, or perhaps having this little 100 watt light. It was on 100. Now y'all can see we got it down to around 80. So maybe that was doing it. This is a fairly small space. I think it's like 2.5 feet wide and 1 foot and a few inches long. So it might be really smaller than a 2x2 space. So I guess that light could be a little hot now that the plants have grown up and getting a lot closer to it. Plus it's now on for 18 hours a day. They were getting 14 hours of light when we still had our outdoor girls in here, so that the outdoor girls could have an easier time transitioning to going outside. So all things considered, I went ahead, turned down the light about 20%. We'll see if we continue to see this progress. We gave them a Foliar spray of water and cow mag yesterday, as y'all know. And yeah, that's just where we at with it. Last thing we gonna do is water to run off and check the pH. Because there's also a chance that maybe somehow that got off, and improper pH can cause problems with uptaking nutrients. But anyways, let's go ahead and try to get this girl trained down. We already came through and topped all these large branches on her a second time. I think just a few days ago or so. So she's still recovering from that, but that's fine. We can induce the LST while those are topped. Plus, I think after that little training comparison video I did, I said I prefer this way of growing, where you kind of let it grow up a bit, top it, you'll get all these branches, then you can start doing LST to get an even canopy. Then I'll usually come through and give them a second round of topping, continue the LST, and get all this stuff in the center to branch. Yeah, get stuff in here to branch out. But just what I'm saying is, I do like this method instead of starting out with the LST and bending over the main stalk. However, for my tent heights right now, until we get like a 6-foot tent, I'm thinking what I did with the Terpgasm over here is probably the better idea for me. This one over here, this scunch, is honestly getting a little too tall. So we're gonna have to really work on keeping it bent, because they've still got like a month that they're gonna be in veg. So I probably, yeah, from now on, when I'm growing in this 2x4 by 5 foot tent, I'm gonna take the method I did with this Terpgasm, start off with LST in it, bending that main stalk, and let it grow out like that for a couple to maybe a few weeks. Then we'll come and top it how we did here, and that'll let all this stuff slowly catch up. But anyways, on to the training. All right, y'all, now we've got this scunch completely tied down. As y'all can see, loop around the stake, loop around just under the node. With the strings that I use, I had to tie it. You can't form it like the garden wire, but generally the same process. And yeah, we got it all around. We do want to try to keep bud sites exposed to the light. So whether that's defoliating or picking off a leaf, or just coming in and tucking them down, I'd say right now we're in fairly decent standing. I don't think I'm gonna rip any leaves off just yet. The only ones that would make an argument would be maybe this one, to expose these a bit more. I guess I'll get rid of it. A little bit more exposure there. I'll tuck on that side. And yeah, this will help all these continue to come out of here. Help control the height on this girl a bit. And let's look at the terpgasm over here. All right, I don't think it's too much that we want to do to her. There's maybe an argument to come in and defoliate a couple leaves, but I more so just want these branches to expand out a little more so they got a little more space. She's real compact right now. Branches are doing a lot of, what is that? Horizontal-ish growth instead of vertical right now. But I've had plants that kind of grew out like this. They're gonna eventually curve their way up. She is looking pretty good in here where we topped her at. This main stem and got real sturdy. Probably a lot to do with the LST we were giving her. There is an argument to probably come on and get this leaf off of here. We'll get it on off. Help expose these to light. This one I'm gonna tuck down. Keep that exposed. And yeah, decent amount of branching in here. All right, now we're over here watering them. So far, both of them have got 32 ounces of water. Like I said, we're going to runoff. We haven't got any just yet. So it looks like they are holding a decent amount of water. Gonna go ahead and hit them again. I do have the water pH to like a 6.5. So we'll see if it comes out the same, lower, higher. They are holding more water than I thought they would. They've been in these pots for like a week now. That's like 48 ounces between the two of them. Each one got 48 ounces. Wait a little second to see if we do see creeping from the bottom. I'm not seeing any. I'll go ahead and hit them again, and we'll see when we get a decent amount of water in these trays. All right, and we did go ahead and get them watered to runoff. Took about 60 ounces of water for each one to produce enough runoff that it would hit this minimum fill line on the pH pin here. And we kind of got some strange results I wasn't expecting. The pH is down in like around a 5.8 to a 6 in both of these, which is a little lower. It's not way off, but it is off, and I wouldn't have expected it. So probably the next time we come in and water these, we will give them a higher pH water, maybe around a 6.8. I probably could tap close. I could honestly probably just hit them with some higher pH water now. It will be a lot of water to give them in one sitting, but they probably would be fine as long as we didn't water them again tomorrow. But I'm gonna just stick to a regular watering schedule. They're probably good enough to be watered once a day now. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. But yeah, next time we water them, we'll have a slightly higher pH than normal to hopefully bounce that soil back into shape. Again, not exactly sure. Like most of our pH or waters have been pH'd around the proper range, unless I messed up somewhere along the line. But yeah, who knows? It could just be the way, because this is fresh soil as well, or new bought soil. And there is something you can do where you take a little bit of the soil, put it in a cup of water, and test the pH. That way you'll get an idea of the pH that your soil is coming at. So maybe it just came a little low. I don't know. Not the biggest of deals. We can get it fixed. And yeah, that is gonna call it for this here video. Our update with our Dresser Grow. Got our Skunch by Dirty Bird Genetics, Terpgasm by Foliar Gardens. 45 days of growth. Not looking too bad at all. And as y'all know, if you found this video helpful, entertaining at all, do hit that like button. Be greatly appreciated. Stay up to date with everything we got going by subscribing. Hit the bell. You'll get a notification whenever we upload. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me. I think we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers not too long from now, maybe a week or two. Other than that, another installment in Mellow Garden, and I'm out.